All right, all praise to Yahweh in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, also known as the Prophets of Doom. All right, these are where I have learned this truth, and these are where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. This video we're gonna talk about the beast. All right, because there is a beast, there is the image of the beast, and there is the mark of the beast. So we're gonna talk about the beast mainly. We'll tell about the prophecy. All right, we'll give the warning about the prophecy, and we'll go into it. But with this video, it'll just be on the beast side of things. Okay, so let's start here in Ezekiel 33 and 1. The heading reads, The Watchman's Duty. All right, it says, Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon the land, upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts, and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. All right, so you being, and we're gonna speak, okay, to Israelites. All right, so you being an Israelite, all right, you're receiving these warnings through the spirit and power of Yahweh, okay, through an Israelite man, and he's telling you of the warnings that are to come. All right, these are not warnings that we make up ourselves, because we can't control what's coming around the bend, right? So this is what the Lord is having come upon this earth. All right, this is the only reason why we know all this. All right, because we have faith and hope in the word of the Lord. So we learn, all right, through other men guiding us towards the truth, and then we go look up a thing and we learn it ourselves. All right, grow in spirit, and then we give the warnings. All right, now if we give a warning, just as this verse said here, if we give a warning and you do not take heed to it, all right, that's going to be your ass. All right, that's going to be up on you. Now, if we don't give warnings about the things that are coming, that'll be on our head. All right, so this is why we do the things that we do. This is why we say the things that we say. All right, because these are commandments of the Lord. All right, we're following the commandments of the Lord to the best of our ability, and these things include giving warning to, as it said up here, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people. All right, Israelites. Give me a quick second here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Revelation chapter 13, where this prophecy and warning is, all right, that we're speaking of. Revelation 13, verse 16, it reads, And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Hold on a second. up above this in the same chapter, well, you know what? We'll stay right here for a minute. Well, actually, I just wanted to show what, or that the beast, the image of the beast, and the mark of the beast are three separate things, all right, that's working towards the same goal, but it's three separate things that go together. Let me find this really quick. Hold on. Okay, Revelation 14 and 9, the heading, the subheading above that verse reads, Doom for the worshippers of the beast. Hold on. This camera seems really close, but man. All right. So I'll just sit back. Anyway, the subheading above Revelation 14 and 9 reads, Doom for the worshippers of the beast. All right. The verse reads, And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast, okay, and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, I'll just go ahead and read verse 10, but you can see here that it's three different things, all right? The beast, his image, and his mark, all right? Revelation 14 and 10 reads, The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right. I just wanted to make the point that there are three different things, all right, because that is important. All right. My teachers and elders have let me know that it is very important to, and it is, all right, it is very important to understand what is being said here, to speak clearly about this, all right. So there is, once again, there is the beast, there is an image of the beast, and there is a mark of the beast, okay. So we'll touch on what the mark is really quick, just so we can give this warning, and then we'll go right into what is the beast, okay? So this mark back here in Revelation 13 to 16, all right, is what the and he, in this case, is going to causeth all to receive, okay? This mark is, here, let's go ahead and get the Greek word for it really quickly. Now, you know what? Yeah, I'm already here. So let me go ahead and get this Greek word for it.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right, charagma. I'm going to go down here to the Strong's definition. It says a scratch or etching, i.e. stamp, as a badge of servitude. Okay, and this badge of servitude, all right, is what this he is going to causeth all to receive. All right, it's going to be a badge showing that you serve this man, okay, that you serve him. So what this thing is the micro C-hip. It is the RFID C-hip, a grain size, a rice, a rice, a grain of rice sized micro C-hip, right? That they're going to put into your body. All right. So that rice grain sized micro C-hip, when it's not sin in itself. All right. You can hold that thing in between your fingers and look at it, examine it. All right. You can set it by you right here. It's not, that thing on its own is not sin. It is the receiving of this thing into your body, which is sin. Okay. So do not take this thing. All right. If the Lord wills, you won't take it. Okay. A couple of examples of this technology is Neuralink, or Elon Musk's brain technology. All right. Another example is Walletmore, Walletmor. In both of these examples, you can go look at that technology and filter it through Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17. Also, you can look at the world and the way that it's going. We're all going into the digital part of this age, okay? And step by step, this man is bringing in, okay, this micro CHIP. All right, so do not receive this thing. As you heard in Revelation 14, hold on. Oh, hold on a second. As you heard here in Revelation 14, verses 9 and 10, all right, there's nothing nice. Let's read that again. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So there's nothing good going to happen if you receive this thing. Let's look up this word worship really quick, just so we can get an idea. Actually, let's go back. Let me see. Yeah, let's look up worship really quick. Here's the Greek word for worship.
Strong's G 4352. Proskuneo. Proskuneo.
All right. Outline of biblical usage, it says to kiss the hand. All right. In token of reverence, it says. All right. It says among Orientals, especially the Persians, to fall upon the knees and touch the ground with the forehead as an expression of profound reverence. In this day, you don't exactly have to get on your knees to be bowing down to something. All right. Definition 3, it says in the New Testament, by kneeling or prostration, to do homage to one or make obeisance, whether in order to express respect or to make supplication. All right. It says used of homage shown to men and beings of superior rank. Okay. It says to Yahweh, to the Messiah, to heavenly beings, or to demons. All right. They give an example of a dog licking his master's hands. Okay. Or, let me see, to prostrate oneself in homage. It says do reverence to or adore. So let's get a couple of these words here. First, let's see what Google says. What is worship? Okay.
Worship.
Noun, it says the feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for a deity. Similar words to this definition, it says veneration, adoration, reverence. In a verb sense of worship, it says show reverence and adoration for a deity. All right, it says honor with religious rites. Similar words in this definition is to revere, venerate, pay homage to, honor, adore, or praise. Now let's get the definition for adoration.
Adoration.
Deep love and respect. All right, similar words: devotion, fondness, affection. Definition 2 of adoration in the noun sense, it says worship or veneration. Similar words in this definition says to glorify, all right, exalt, extol. All right, what's the definition of veneration?
Veneration.
It says great respect or reverence. All right. What is homage?
Homage.
Special honor or respect shown publicly. It's very important what we're about to go into, this beast, all right? Historical noun is of definition. It says formal public acknowledgement of feudal allegiance. All right, let me all right, so let's go back here now. Let's go back. All right, so there's nothing good from you taking this or receiving this mark. All right, it shows that you worship the image of the beast and the beast. All right, and we're about to touch on a little bit what this beast is. Okay. All right, so ultimately the and he that is being spoken about in this Revelation 13 and verse 16 is a dominion or a certain group of people that hold dominion. It is a kingdom. Okay. It is the ones that run this earth. Right, and we'll touch on that also. Right, the earth is given into the hand of the people that run this earth. Right, not through their own power, but through the power of Yahweh. Right, Yahweh prophesied this to happen. This points out to whom, right, this beast is. Right, everything that they do points to whom they are. Right, and everything that happens with the remnant and the elect points to not only whom we are, but it points to the truth and faithfulness that the Lord holds. All right, Yahweh, Bahoshem Yahweh Shai. And speaking of that, Yahweh is whom the world ignorantly calls God. That is a title, but his name is Yahweh. All right, Yah means he, and Hawa means is, or to be, or exist. So he to be, he is, or he exists. Okay, and he exists. It's really all those. Okay, his son's name, the only begotten. Okay, the Messiah. All right, the one whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus his name is Yahweh Shai. All right, again, Yah is he. Yahweh Shai means saves and delivers. All right, so he saves, he delivers. All right, so it's through the power given to them that they have the earth, all right, in their hand. All right, just to point out who they are. All right, they can't escape prophecy. No one can escape prophecy. All right, it's not a mistake that you have the traits and characteristics that you do. So when you go into these scriptures and you filter yourself through them and you find yourself in there, all right, hey, if you're on the wrong side or if you're contrary to the Lord, you just better pray. All right, you just better pray that you get on the right side before it's too late, because there is a such thing as too late. All right, so let's go ahead and touch on this he. All right, this is the wicked. All right, it is the wicked. That's one thing that they're called here in these scriptures. Let's go to Malachi 1 and 4. All right, and it also names them here. So let's listen up and see if you catch it. It says, whereas Edom, this is Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, all right, of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Right? They are the wicked. I just want to look at something really quickly here. Let's see. All right, this is a Good News translation of Malachi 1 and 4. It says, if Esau's descendants, the Edomites, say, our towns have been destroyed, but we will rebuild them, then the Lord will reply, let them rebuild, I will tear them down again. People will call them the evil country and the nation with whom the Lord is angry forever. Okay, since we know that the Lord is forever angry with them, we're going to go in here to the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, and we're going to look at this entry for Edom. All right, hold on a second. Okay. Again, this is the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. All right. The entry for Edom, Edomites. It reads, the nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau. He founded the country, so his name is equated with Edom. The country was also called Seir or Mount Seir, which was the name of the territory in which the Edomites lived. All right. Some people say that the Edomites have been taken care of already, destroyed already, but they haven't. At the bottom of this entry, it says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments. All right. It says she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God. All right, which points right back to, okay, the Lord having indignation with these people forever. All right, so not only are they the wicked, but they are also Esau, Edom. Okay, the self-called and so-called white man. We'll touch on that again in a minute. All right, let's go first to Proverbs. All right, 29 and 2. It reads, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, and what state are the people in of this world? All right, there's wars going on everywhere. Death, people are unhappy everywhere. Okay, the people are mourning because the wicked are in rulership. Okay, they are in rulership. I looked up this word morale earlier. All right,
Morale.
it says the confidence, enthusiasm, and discipline of a person or group at a particular time. Okay, similar words to that definition are confidence, self-confidence, self-esteem, spirits. All right. And then I asked, what is the morale of Americans as of 2025? All right, and I'm gonna just read the headings of these articles. Well, I could have went on and asked what's the morale of people, right? But I just stuck with this. We're not going to read any of these articles, really. I just want to look at these titles. It says urgent, spiritual, and moral crisis in America. There's another article that reads, America's reputation drops across the world. All right, those two things I just read here are from 2025. All right. 2025, midway through America's decade of turmoil. All right, let's see. But you get the point, though. All right. Let me see if there's no drop down questions. But you get the point just from those two questions. All right. The wicked are in rulership. This is why it says in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay. Which again points to who the he is in Revelation 13, verse 16. Okay, which is also going into the beast. All right, we're gonna get further in this. Okay, so now that we know that it is, well, let's see. Is that Second Ezra's 3 and yeah, I think that's it here. Is it 2? All right, hold on a second now. Let me read this really quick. This is Second Ezra chapter 3. I'll start at 12. Right, it says, and it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply, and had gotten them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Speaking of, this is starting with that line that you trace, okay? Starting with a line that you start tracing, which is started out being the sons of God, okay? Before it was called the Israelites, they were called sons of God, all right? Verse 14 of 2nd Ezra chapter 3, it says, him thou lovedst, and unto him only thou showedest thy will. Showing that, all right, again, putting a separation between the ones whom he chooses and the rest of the world. This is why we are commanded to be holy. Holy means to be set apart. All right, verse 15, it says, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. Okay, Jacob, the progenitor of the Israelites, Esau, the progenitor of the Edomites. All right, both, yes, are a Hebrew people, even a Shemitic people, but we are Hebrew Israelites. They are Hebrew Edomites. Okay. It says, as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. All right. That's one. There's another verse in here I wanted to get though. Is it? All right, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Man, I can't. All right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Is it chapter 2? All right, I apologize. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I gotta find this. So, all right, give me a second. Hold on. First Maccabees. Man, I was off. First Maccabees. Chapter 3 and verse 44. I think I'm going to start. We start at 43. All right, keep in mind while we read this, keep in mind this verse here that I'm about to read to you. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Right, it reads, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun." This verse points to reincarnation, right? Since the same spirits are getting recycled down here, as the Lord pleases. Right, the same, a lot of the same predicaments keep popping back up. The same situations. All right, Israelites disobeying, a remnant obeying. Okay, these other nations. Okay, now keep that in mind also when we speak about what this beast is. But this again is pointing to who the Edomites are and why we say that it is the self-called and so-called white man. Okay, so First Maccabees 3, verse 43. It says, "They said one to another, 'Let us restore the decayed state of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.'" All right, we know that in this day we are fighting a spiritual war, all right, to restore our people, which at this time, through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahushua, it's only going to be a remnant and an elect that awaken. Okay. Verse 44 says, "Then was the congregation gathered together, that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion." We do the same thing in this day. All right, we do the same thing in this day that was going on back here. All right. And this is in the Greek captivity. Okay. Verse 45, it reads, "Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and the aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the people with the harp ceased." All right, in this day, all right, you could consider your mind, your spirit as a stronghold. This is supposed to be the temple of the Lord, right? Your mind is supposed to be that spiritual stronghold. But for most of the Israelites, all right, the heathen have control of this stronghold. All right, they have control of this stronghold, and peace is taken from Jacob, and they don't even know it. They would rather stay in this place. They would rather show reverence to this place, right? The people that run it, right? The beast, right? The system of things, how they are now. We're still going to go into that beast, all right? There's still more left on this though. 45, or excuse me, verse 46 now, it says, "Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Maspha over against Jerusalem, for in Maspha was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes." All right, we're even in this day we are in a state of mourning for what has happened to us, what is still happening to us, and we want the Lord to come back and deal with his enemies, and he will on his time. All right. Verse 48 though, it says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." Now, we just talked about reincarnation and things happening over and over again. So the heathen opened up the book of the law, which is what? What is that today? It is these scriptures. Okay, so as a matter of fact, so just like what we read there in the Apocrypha, same things happen today. All right, that picture that comes to mind when you hear of the Messiah, the only begotten Son. Okay, that picture is a worldwide. I mean, he's probably the most famous picture. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how famous it is. So I'm just saying he's really popular. They've taken over the world with this. They have pushed that picture that more than likely popped in your head as the Messiah. All right, a stringy-haired, blue-eyed, so-called white man, right? What else? The Last Supper. Same people. All right, they look the same as that false Messiah. Okay, and then when you think about the finger of God, all right, that image or that picture, all right, they painted themselves in there and they fooled the whole world with it. Now, although we're talking about three images here, that's not what the image of the beast is. All right. That's not what the image of the beast is. Yes, those are representatives of the strongholds that they have over the world, not only Israelites, but the world. But those three images aren't the image of the beast. Okay. The image of the beast is the beast's philosophies, beliefs, all right, the things that they push on the people. Okay. But going back to the beast, right, it is Esau Edom. Okay. It is well, actually, we're about to go back into it. All right, it's the Edomites and their empire. Remember, it mentioned rebuilding the desolate places. All right, rebuilding the desolate places. Now, keep that in mind too. Okay. So let me start closing out some of these windows. Actually, I'll keep them open for a minute. All right, so let's go here to Genesis chapter 27. Okay. All right, Genesis chapter 27. And we'll start right here at verse 38. It reads, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay, and then I'll read 41. All right, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Right, and this is still the mindset of Esau. All right, this is a built in. Okay, so now you keep that in mind. Remember, and by thy sword thou shalt live. Okay, the dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. All right. So now let's go here to. Actually, let me check this time. I don't think I want to break this up into two parts, but I don't know if there's that much to go. There might be a lot to go. So we'll stop this right here and we'll come right back with part two. Okay, so hope this come through as sincere and edifying. And with that, all praise to Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, also known as the prophets of doom. These are where I have learned this truth, and these are where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel, Lord willing. I am of that number, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.